All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about economy. And I'm not talking about the price of groceries and gasoline. You guys, every time you go to the grocery store and fill up your tank, you know what the hell's going on there, and it sucks. Okay? I'm going to talk about more big picture stuff, national debt, positioning in the global economy, blah, blah, blah. All right, so national debt, debt to GDP, and world reserve currency. Those are the things I'm going to hit on briefly. I encourage you to do more, if you think, hey man, I want to look into that. Please do. I'm going to look at a 20-year period. I'm went back 20 years, so I'm looking at 2003 to 2023. In 2003, the national debt was around $6.8 trillion. And the debt to GDP ratio was 59%, 59%. All right, what's debt to GDP ratio? If your paycheck that you bring home every month is not enough to cover your bills, you're screwed, right? That's what debt to GDP ratio is. So if my paycheck is larger than the amount of my bills I got to pay every month, we're all right. We can plan for a trip, vacation, go to the beach or whatever. All right, world reserve currency. I'm going to do a little bit more on the history of that in a little bit. But let's look at the debt to GDP thing. Can we pay our bills? In 2014, the debt to GDP ratio topped 100% for the first time since World War II. That's not a good thing, and it has not gone below 100% since. Today, it's at 123%. That means we are, well, the national, I just looked at the national debt clock. We hit 34 trillion. Woohoo, where's the confetti, right? And our debt to GDP ratio is 120. We're in the hole. We're going in the hole. We pay $1 trillion a year on interest right now. And those bastards are talking about, we're talking about the bastards in Washington. I've got the news on, it's muted behind the camera. This new deal we're working out to only spend an additional $1 trillion it is. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about world reserve currency. Here we go. Right now it's this thing, dollar bill. United States of America, $1, legal tender. Hot damn, hot damn. All right, in ancient times, world reserve currency, what the hell is it? It's a thing of value that most of the people of the world agree is valuable. Initially, well not initially, but if you go way back in ancient times, it was salt. And the reason it was salt was because it was the primary way to preserve foodstuffs. You cure it with salt. Okay, and then the ancient, homemakers got tired of carrying 50-pound sacks of salt around to go to the grocery store, so they went to gold. And because you can carry a couple ounce poke of gold instead of a 50-pound sack of salt to go to the grocery store, that made good sense. And then the printing press comes along and people start printing, paper money. For a couple hundred years, I forget, probably pushing 3 centuries, the British pound was the world reserve currency. The British pound was redeemable in gold or silver. After World War I, Great Britain went off the gold standard. Had tremendous debt from World War I. The Great Depression is raging, and then here comes World War II. Following World War II, the U.S. was the only ones around that had an intact industrial infrastructure. Europe, Asia were whacked, bombed the hell out of them, nuked Japan, right? So the dollar replaced the British pound as the world reserve currency following World War II. Now today, there's not a country on earth that's on the gold standard. So what makes the damn dollar something that most of the folks in the world will agree is of value? Interesting. A stable form of government, a stable form of economy, and abundant natural resources, predominantly energy and agriculture. Every damn day somebody's going to want to eat something. And the better and cheaper and more efficient your energy supply is to produce that food, the more stable and attractive your economy is going to be. What are we doing with fossil fuels? How many acres, how many thousands, hundreds of thousands of acres have the Chi-Coms and the Bill Gateses of the world gobbled up? We're probably getting into thousands of square miles, not just thousands of acres. We're talking about a bunch of territory. Food supply, oil. What's our big threat in the world? Well, it's global warming. Bullshit. Let's talk about BRICS. 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 What are the BRICS nations? You're aware of OPEC. You know, the oil producing nations in the Middle East got together so they can jack the price of oil, make more money, right? And then the EU, the European Union, the European nations got together to come together, you know, to better their standing in the global economy, because it's stupid as hell. And they got together to make their economies collectively stronger. BRICS. And we list off the nations. The nations already members. Some of them surprised me when I was looking it up. Some of them did not. Member nations of BRICS: China, Russia, Iran. 21st century axis of evil, you think? This one surprised me. Saudi Arabia. Egypt, UAE. India surprised me. Ethiopia, South Africa, Brazil. Those are your BRICS nations. And I started to say, man, oh man, oh man. I'm going to do, look for a video titled Hostages, Not People. Consider the energy and agricultural and rare earths resources of those member nations as a coalition of nations they're trying to drill us in the keister, folks. Anyway, that's, you know, economic stuff in a nutshell. Do more research on your own, please. But the shit's about to hit the fan, folks, and it's not going to be pretty for us.